Lucky Lefty Podcast, Onora Boys in the building, brought to you by Onora Whiskey at OnoraWhiskey.com on this Monday night. OnoraWhiskey.com. It's that smooth, silky American whiskey. OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you're going to drink, by all means, make sure that you do so
responsibly.
Let's get it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. ZAIRE, the original Lucky Lefty himself. I am SE2 Shaun Davis, brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, courtesy of Believe Network. Hey, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We give you audio edibles each and every day. Believe in Notre Dame, believe in Lucky Lefty, and believe in yourself. Check us out over at Believe Network. Go ahead, lock in with us for automatic downloads. We appreciate the support. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up. It helps with the views. Leave your comments and questions. We respond to all. And go to LuckyLeftyPod.com. ESPN, in their way too early top 25, they gave the strengths and weaknesses of the top 25 in their way too early poll. Notre Dame sits at number 4. They gave the strength and weaknesses for Notre Dame. We'll talk about that. I'll also talk about the upcoming week in recruiting. It's a busy week. April 2nd and 4th are going to be vitally important as they head into the all-important for the quarterback competition scrimmage, team scrimmage on Saturday. And then we'll hear from Chris Ash and defensive newcomers coming up to start the show. Left. You okay, man? How was your weekend?
I'm finding about this Olivia Miles thing. That's pretty crazy.
What? She declared for the draft?
Oh, I thought she was transferring.
I was asking. I haven't seen
it. Yeah, she's going to the transfer portal.
Now, see, can I get to this? Can I get to this? Because I see this is why I tweeted after the game Saturday that Niele Ivey needs to look under the hood of the program, bro. Like, she has to look at everything. She needs to look at her assistant coaches. She needs to look at her recruiting. She needs to look at the system, everything. And that has nothing. I'm not out here like people overreacting, talking about it needs to be changed. Relax. Notre Dame doesn't need a new head coach for the women's basketball team. Relax. I tell people all the time, go look at Muffin McGraw's first 4 seasons. Like, chill. What needs to happen is her strength is coaching and getting guards. That's her strength because she played the position. She has a blind spot when it comes to the paint. She has a blind spot, and she has a blind spot when it comes to coaching the paint and not being dependent on the guards to make plays. So Olivia Miles jumping in the transfer portal, combination with or comboed with Sonia Centron's comments, and I'm sorry, man. I've never heard anything like this, bro. It was one of the craziest comments that I thought somebody was saying something about the coaching without saying it. She literally said, I think we had too much talent. So much talent that we didn't know what to do with it. And I said, first of all, who is stupid enough to say we got too much talent? I guarantee you, Dawn Staley ain't saying I got too much talent when she got McDonald's All-American sitting on the bench not getting any tick. She's not saying that.
I don't think she's ever said that.
No, she's never said that. So for anyone to say Malaysia Fuaili, who might be the most dangerous offensive player on the squad, comes off the bench for South Carolina. See, Love, that my concern with Notre Dame and Niele Ivey moving forward is you can be top heavy talent-wise and unbalanced talent-wise, meaning your elite talent is all in the backcourt and you have no elite talent on the baseline. That is the problem. That
You
is
say
the
you
problem.
can't sustain that.
No, I'll give you a perfect example. Let's take Haley Van Leaf from TCU, right? She had 26 against Notre Dame, right? Haley Van Leaf wasn't the problem. The problem was big girl Prince that put up 20 and 8 that allowed Haley Van Leaf to rest pretty much the entire first half and allow her to take over down the stretch. Hannah Hidalgo has to go full blast first quarter all the way through the end of the game. She doesn't have anybody in the paint that she can just toss the ball to and get
That's
20.
how the team is built, though.
What's okay? You need to stop building teams like that because it's not successful when you face bigger teams in the tournament. It's not.
That's all it was. It was just a size thing.
It's not. And then you keep putting Maddie, who's a 4, at the 5, and she can't play the game she needs to play because she's too busy trying to defend bigger opponents. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
and
she's too light.
We see it year after year after year. And at some point, as I said before, the head coach is where the buck starts or stops. And she has to take a look under the hood at everything to see, all right, what do we need to change?
But we want a championship being guard heavy.
Yeah, but Breonna Turner was an athletic big.
Yeah.
Breonna Turner was an athletic big, though.
Excuse me, yes.
Ruth Riley was a gold medal winning big. Like Notre Dame has won just from guard play. They won with some pretty good bigs down there as well. So I'm not saying you need a 25-point score in the paint, but you need someone that's dependable that can relieve some pressure off the guard.
That was dependable.
Olivia feels like she's the better playmaker, and she is. She's a better playmaker than Hannah Hidalgo, and she doesn't want to share the ball. She wants the ball in her hands moving forward. So I totally understand why. Hey, let me make my pitch.
Wait, hold on. Wait, time out. Wait, they made an ESPN cover together, though.
Left. The girl wants the ball in her hands. She wants the ball in her hands.
See, if Jeremiah Love said that, everybody would be hands up in the air.
Left. Let me ask you a question. We understand what Jeremiah Love said last year when he was still before the media and said he loved blocking for Riley Leonard. We heard that, right?
Okay.
We heard that, right?
Yeah.
Notre Dame did a really good job of preparing him for PR. You know that, and I know that. Because we know the truth.
We know the truth.
We know the truth.
We know the truth.
Our guy Jay Love watches the show. You raised your son right. You raised your son right. We know the truth. Man, running backs didn't like blocking for Riley Leonard. Come on, man. They would much rather have the ball in their hands. And they're going to get that this year. But no, I believe in Niele Ivey. She just needs to, sometimes, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say it's stubbornness. But she just needs to, in order to get over the hump, she needs to change the way she does things.
Yeah, she got to adjust for sure.
And you know what else? I'm trying to figure out, is she only allowed to get one good player per recruiting class? Where are the upcoming freshmen that get ticked? I see Texas with freshmen getting ticked. I see TCU with freshmen getting ticked. Lord knows South Carolina always has freshmen getting ticked.
We're a developmental program, though. We develop.
Why? Why should this be a developmental program with 3 national championships? Why?
That's how they won.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So where you want Olivia to go, DePaul?
No, Illinois. We're back in the top 25. Olivia, let me holler at you. We might have some NIL for you.
Oh, you trying to throw a little
Let me talk to my boy Bardo and my boy K Gill. Let me talk to the fellas. We might have a little extra cheddar for you.
Oh, okay.
We might have a little extra cheddar for you.
She can fit over there?
She can have the ball. It's her show. What are you talking about? It's her show. It's her
Okay,
show.
so you giving her the ball. Okay.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Matter of fact, where is she from? Look that up right quick, love. Where's Olivia Miles from? Because I would venture to say she's going probably closer to the crib. Now you know what would be gangster? Let me tell you what would be gangster. I got it, left. I got it. I know where she's going. I know where she's going, left. I know where she's going.
She from New Jersey.
I know where she's going. I know where she's going. I'm gonna tell you right now. Juju won't be back. Juju will not be back until January, February. Olivia Miles is going to enter the USC watch. It's going to be Olivia and Juju watch. Ooh, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. Ooh, they get
Now,
Olivia.
you just said she want the ball.
And she don't get the ball because Juju's not coming back until right before the tournament. Who else do they have?
Oh, you said
It's going to be her show until it's time for the tournament. Now, East Coast, she could go to the ACC. I could see her possibly going to like a Duke, a North Carolina. Both of them have really good teams this year. You know, I can see it. And LSU is known for getting people in the portal. So you always have to watch LSU. That's interesting. She hit the portal, man.
she can get her money though. If
Oh,
it's really
for sure.
about the ball, then that's a problem even still because Hannah can't do it alone.
Her portal money is probably going to be more than she would make going to the league, for sure. The money she's about to get in the portal, it might be better than her rookie contract in the WNBA.
Really? How much money do you think she's gonna get in the portal?
She gets 6 figures in the portal. Yeah, she gets 6 figures in the portal. Hey, I'm telling you, they throwing this basketball money around, bro.
6 figures?
Yeah, dude. It's reports of cats in the portal trying to go to Illinois from Xavier, getting all 6 figures from Xavier. That basketball money is real. Say it again.
Girl basketball player getting that much?
Let me ask you a question. Serious question. Juju transfer, how much money do you think she would get? They just played 3. I watched them play 3 Juju Watkins commercials, and she's not even in the tournament. She's not. Nike and State Farm played 3 commercials during the TCU and Texas game.
Well, she's like different though.
I'm just saying.
That's the top of the top. That's the top of the sport.
I'm just saying.
The top of any sport should be making in the 7 figures.
I guarantee you Olivia Miles can get 6 figures.
Yeah, like 100,000.
If she has an agent that's worth a darn, she can get 6 figures. She can get 100K.
She a first round guard?
She was the projected number 2 pick in the WNBA draft.
Yeah, she'll get some money.
To say no to the WNBA, you have to pay. You have to.
Yeah, that was her leverage right there.
Yeah, you have to. All right, let's jump into it. Chris Ash. Some very interesting comments from Chris Ash. He was talking about coming in, first impressions of the defense. What does he think about the players so far in the spring? And this is what he had to say about it.
I'm just trying to get a handle on the guys on defense right now, and every day gets a little bit better. The picture of what we have and what guys can do becomes a little bit clearer. But every day we just keep getting better. I really enjoy being around the guys. We got a great group of guys. These guys have been well coached. They practice hard. They care. They try to get better every day, and it's a lot of fun.
what are the things that maybe stand out to you in terms of validation of things you expected, and maybe some things that it's like, oh, I didn't realize that, and that's really good too?
Yeah, I would say the validation part is these guys are smart players. They can retain information. You can throw a lot at them, and they can go from the room to walk through to practice. And it doesn't take a lot of reps for these guys to get it. So conceptually, again, we've been pretty consistent with what's been done here in the past, so that helps. But I'm just impressed by the amount of volume that these guys can retain and take from the meeting room to the practice field.
How different compared to previous stuff has been just in the short time that you've been here so far?
I don't know about different. Every place is different, and every place is its own separate opportunity. But I just have really enjoyed the people here, the staff, the support staff, but mostly the players. This is a great group of guys. And I told them the other day, I feel like you hit the football coaching lottery coming here and being able to be around such an intelligent group, a committed group, and guys that just come out and work hard.
All right, Left. So he's talking about the group he has. Of course, everybody, oh man, they grab the context, they grab concepts really fast.
Once again, he's coming from a universally great program, franchise, organization in Jacksonville. So just to compare that to what we already know about Notre Dame players, he's a little shocked that Notre Dame is very similar to a fine, well-oiled organization, franchise such as Jacksonville. So his relatability is there. And you got to think about it. He's the fish out of water. He's coming in to find out what he's got. Everybody else knows what's there.
Yeah, because he's never been in a winning culture.
Oh,
that's why he's a fish out of water.
Wow. Okay.
This is what a winning culture feels like.
Shots. That's crazy. Anyway,
this is what a winning culture feels like. But continue.
The fact that he is finding out himself how he can get the most out of these players and who he has, it's just really a testament to him and what we talked about. He's coming in and running Notre Dame's defense. He's not coming in running his necessary schemes and fits and all of that. And that'll come in time. So for him, it's a learning experience. No different than how when Geno came, Gaduli, and said, him and Tyler Buckner had a good relationship because they was kind of putting him on speed on how they do things here. And that's all Chris Ash is going through, how they do things here and how the guys, he's surprised probably up to the volume of which guys are committed. And I think that's the unique experience that you get in Notre Dame locker room, is that you just get a more than average turnout on guys that are team oriented and devoted to getting better in the areas that many people may not quite understand. Especially, you got to be really cerebral on how you move through the process of developing at Notre Dame on and off the field. So, you think you're playing mind games in the facility. No, you got to deal with school and everything else that comes with just the discipline that you get at Notre Dame. And that's all it is. We just have a team discipline where it's like, this is the season to develop, learn. And that's just something that Marcus Freeman has held on to. I thought it was some of that when Brian Kelly was there, but Marcus Freeman got that process really nailed down to help guys understand how to get better during this time. And so I'm not surprised Chris Ash is still head kind of spinning and taking it all in at one time and trying to digest it all, because it's fast. You got a couple months of this, and then the guys leave, and then you get them back, and it's go time, and you're trying to catch up on film and deal with what you got currently and get through the spring and recruit. So I'm sure he's going to be playing more background, more so than just being like, we're running the Chris Ash defense.
Yeah, I think Chris Ash is at a point where if he's smart, he comes into a defense that is absolutely stacked. We're going to talk about the strengths and weaknesses and the perception of strengths and weaknesses at Notre Dame and how that's going to change moving forward coming up in the second half of the show. But I think he comes into a situation that, remember how people said Caleb Williams came into the best situation a rookie quarterback could ever walk into? I don't know a better situation that a defensive coordinator could do. Maybe Jim Knowles going into that situation last year at Ohio State with all the money they invested and how they retained their guys. Maybe Jim Knowles had a little bit better situation, but the situation that his ass is walking into is like another
Just
man
don't
built.
mess it up. Yeah, just don't.
Man, just don't screw it up, right? It's almost like Al Golden, even though he's at an NFL job, the worst thing Al Golden could feel is that Chris Ash wins the championship and Al Golden gets to feel that feeling of, man, I built it up. I built that from where it was to where it is, and now he gets in to come in and reap the reward of what I built. You know, hopefully he does make Al Golden feel like that. Hopefully he does.
Yeah, hopefully it makes him feel like that. But I think Al Golden knew that his courses ran, its potential. Because where do you go after losing for Al Golden if he stays?
Especially if you aspire to go on to the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, listen, I'm in the crux position because theoretically, I've done all I could to get us to this point. And now we lose. That it's just the momentum's just knocked off automatically. How do you get that back after being so good?
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing of being like our offense was along for the ride. The defense was the motivating factor. So then you lose at its highest peak in a sense. That's a harder climb and challenge than just going to the NFL and being like, oh, well, because is it recruiting that you fix? Is it the defense? The scheme was kind of getting some hits in certain areas. I think coordinators started figuring out some things and putting some guys in some. I mean, now we played against Tyler Warren. I mean, that special guy. Ain't too many Tyler Warrens you just see week to week.
Coming to Soldier Field soon. By the way, Tyler.
What are you talking about?
Well, Tyler Warren's coming here for a personal meeting tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I mean by that. He's coming to Soldier Field or the facilities at Hallis Hall soon.
Yeah. He won't be there too long on that draft board. You got to play around and get genty. So anyway, I do think it's.
I mean, we could trade back and pick up extra picks and Man.
Oh, you must be talking to Ryan Poles over there. You got the inside.
We can pass on. We can pass on him. Get Hampton from North Carolina. Move back, pick up an extra second round pick, which would give us 3 second round picks, and we're sitting pretty. Thank you, Houston Texans. Thank you, and Carolina. Thank you, thank you. But
so I do think though, you get in this position where Al Golden is leaving it. I think for a better restart to somebody else. I think that's the best transition you can have. It would just be a shame to see a drop off in a defense that's been so good for so long, but they're really taking a step back. And I think this is the, restructuring of, you're not going to have a top 5 defense 3-4 years in a row. Let's just be honest.
Why not?
I think we saw the last 2 games. Why not? I think teams start figuring you out a little bit more.
That's not fair. That's not fair because you have to see this team with their pass rushers for a full season. They didn't have the best 2 pass rushers. Now, it makes a difference. It makes a difference when you depend on the back end and you got pass rushers up front.
But we still did such a great job with all the injuries still.
Absolutely. I agree.
And as a defensive coordinator, if I'm out going, I'm like, hey, I squeezed all the juice out of the lemon. I think it's better for a pickup for somebody else and let me go do my thing. Because he come back and he's not give the same or greater performance defensively. He's not getting that Bengals job right out the gate. Maybe he does, maybe he does. It's a lot harder. But you coming off a championship, you get the everybody got a raise for a reason because you went to the championship. So some things just come with it. Like they said, the graduation success rate for the class that wins a championship is like exponentially higher in terms of people getting jobs out of school and all type of stuff. So money they make. So I do think there is some metaphysical effect, But for a guy like Chris Ash in this rebirth of a defense, I think it's the best transition to make because this is the team under Marcus Freeman's tenure that is going to start to show where offensive dominance and an offensive-minded Coach Freeman come to the forefront. Because we already proved having the top defense in all categories, this, that, the third, first-round picks, all that, with missing players, it wasn't enough. And it was a clear gap in the championship on where we still needed to go. And that's why the offense is taking that next step. Well, that's the pressure that the offense has to take on. And Denbrock's a great person to fit that. I mean, he's been talking about having top 5 offensive defense since last year. So you already know where his mind was and how he thinks of the team and where he thinks he can take it with the quarterbacks that's in the room. So that's an encouraging thing. That's why he was so open and free and talking about we got 3 guys that can get it done because he really believes that. I mean, what a breath of fresh air where you go from having one guy that can do limited things to 3 guys that can do a lot, in 1 year. That's, that opens the door for all the possibilities for us to do things that we struggled with. And it's crazy to struggle with. Maybe we had too much talent on offense. We didn't know what to do with it. You got 5 running backs that are ball dominant, but your quarterback has the most carries and a bunch of talent at receiver that you just don't know what you have because you can't get it to him. That's it. I mean, so that has to change. And the narrative, like we talked about while beating Ohio State was a narrative change for recruitment, opening up this offense is a narrative change for this recruitment. Guys aren't going to say this year moving forward, I need to see the offense under a different guy. That would tremendously help our recruiting. Because now we're selling guys based off the hopes, wishes, and potential of what we can look like with these guys getting in, but we don't have nothing to physically show. We don't have any proof to be like, if you come here, you could be 1,000-yard receiver. Who we gonna show them Will Fuller tape or Michael Floyd tape? That's what we're gonna show them. So, but I think the guys that take on that challenge of coming to Notre Dame as receivers see that if any other place that's top in the country, I can get 1,000 yards here, provided things go right. It's not like this is just a lockdown receipt like Ohio State where you there's a ranking, there's guys that are clearly going to get the football and then everybody's got to find their role. Notre Dame is like the quarterback position, wide open. How many places in the country are wide open at receiver and quarterback in the country for a winning program? Let me rephrase that. How many winning top 5 programs or winning top 10 programs are wide open at quarterback and receiver? Not Texas.
Yeah, it's plenty of opportunity, boy. Ain't nothing but what you say, nothing but space and opportunity.
Nothing but space.
Nothing but space and opportunity.
Kenny saw this 2 years ago.
He did.
So, and the situation hadn't changed. So that's why this is the most attractive and best job in college football, because the challenge is you're racking your brain. How are they so good with these 2 key main positions so wide open? That means that if they just had a half decent superstar at receiver or quarterback, I'm talking about just lower tier of a superstar, this team and that player would look 30 times bigger in the college football space. Seriously, if we had a real star at quarterback or receiver, like somebody like a Bryce Underwood, where it's just all the hype and and acclaim and they played halfway decent. You write your own ticket. The whole perspective of Notre Dame just gets. That's all we're waiting on, honestly. Like we waiting on Jesus to come back, we're waiting on the quarterback to come too. Because we know when that happens, you think Notre Dame fans are bad now. Let us get a Brady Quinn or something. Let CJ Carr be what they gassing CJ Carr's potential to be. You talk about the most hated team in college. Oh, what people would hate our guts. Because then it'd be like, what don't we have? You know what I mean? Then it'd be like, what don't we have? We got the Hollywood quarterback, all the money we don't share. We got all these rules and cool things we got going on. Everybody loves our head coach. We putting up points, making it an entertaining. You know what I mean? It'd just be. Who's the last Notre Dame superstar athlete? Just I mean, seriously, on a national scale, it'll probably be a girls basketball player. Think about that. The biggest superstar Notre Dame athlete the last one has probably been a girl basketball player. Who's been bigger than Skylar in the football program?
Scott.
Who's been bigger than nobody in the football program has ever been bigger than Skylar. And that's saying, and that's a girl basketball, not saying nothing bad about Skylar, but that's a girl basketball player at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And the most famous recent superstar is a girls basketball player. Space and opportunity exists all over the campus.
Yeah. Dang, that's a good point.
You think about all the Cam Newton at Auburn, Jameis Winston at Florida State, Deshaun Watson at Clemson. I mean, Troy Smith, big name, memorable names. Ohio State, Michigan got memorable names. But you think of Notre Dame, you just think Skylar Dickens. You don't even think of the football team. You on a whole nother sport in an underappreciated sport at that. But that's our biggest athlete. That just doesn't rack in the brain right.
No.
Jeremiah Love's not bigger than Skylar because the only way you can do it is if you have a if Notre Dame had a household quarterback with a little bit of personality, because you need a little bit of that. We ain't saying you got to be the bad boy of the league or nothing, but just enough to get people interested. You think that TV show would have been big? I'm telling you, that's what we're missing. The real Hollywood is when Notre Dame gets that dude at quarterback, period. Because we got everything else. It's already set up. It's space and opportunity for somebody to do what they do. If we had and Denbrock knows it. Denbrock's like, all right, I already got proof of concept. I can get me a Heisman quarterback. I can do it at Notre Dame. People can't say nothing to me. Denbrock would be a top 5 coordinator for college for the next 10 years. If he gets a Heisman quarterback at Notre Dame, Denbrock his fate would be sealed. He'll be looking at NFL jobs. He noticed the money right here. Denbrock is like, I'm trying to change my life here. Here. I did it at LSU and it was cool. Doing it here, oh no, I'm a coach. How did Mike Mickens get so legit? He did it at Notre Dame. Mike Mickens can go anywhere. All he got to say is, I got Kyle Hamilton, Ben Morrison, Xavier Watts, Don. I got those guys. Those are what I put at Notre Dame. I got the best defensive player of the year at Notre Dame, and I developed him from a receiver. I mean, Mike Mickens, that's why I thought he was going to leave, honestly. I thought Mike Mickens was on his way out because it's like he holding the same thing Kelly did. I'm the winningest coach of all time at Notre Dame. You're going to have to give me $100 million. You're going to have to.
If Notre Dame got a big-time quarterback, the hate will go to Kanye level. The way Kanye is hating right now, Yo,
It would be
crazy.
insane. But you talk about narrative change though. We would get some 5 stars. We wouldn't have a problem. We wouldn't. What? Shadur went to Colorado and instantly got the best receiver core in 2 years in the country. How do you do that? How do you do that, Sean?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm super excited. And Marcus Freeman has to know.
He does.
Because he literally is. He proved everything else. He needs his golden egg. Because his memorable moments are them crazy losses. I mean, that's just a huge stain. Even now, winning championship, we would have forgave all that. But NIU is still one of his top 2 biggest moments, though. Until he start pumping out quarterbacks or championships. What else would get people to forget that NIU lost? That's going to be on him, for a minute.
Oh, man.
Thomas Hammock not going to let him forget it. Only way Thomas Hammock will stop is if we hire him. Now Marcus Freeman got to go hire him. They got to go buy his masters or something. You got to go. Yeah. Marcus
Now,
Freeman.
Left,
For me.
I'm going to be honest. Chris Ash is about to say something that's probably going to make you happy because I think it's something that you've been asking for. He was asked, is there a player that stands out or any players that stand out during the spring so far? And he didn't go player. He went this direction, Love.
I try to refrain from pointing out individuals because I'm afraid I leave somebody out. I just think overall, this group from top to bottom, I'm not looking at experience or who started, who hasn't. I'm just looking at individuals, and I see a lot of growth for every individual. I see players at all 3 levels can make plays and can do some things that I'm really excited about. I think I would talk about our interior D-line is probably better than I had initially thought. There's more depth there. The 2 transfers have really fit in nice and done a great job. Is a guy that wasn't here, last year for personal reasons. He's back in the mix and he's doing a great job. So that group probably, as a position group, has probably stood out more so than anything.
Hey, Left is about to lose his mind, ladies and gentlemen. Left is about to lose his mind. Chris Ash said the D-line is standing out above everybody else. Left, ladies and gents, I'm about to give the next 10 minutes to Left. Boy, he's about to cook. Go ahead, cook. Left.
That's one of the 2 keys to a championship. We said that. You get that interior line going with that middle pressure. That needs to be where the talking comes from. We talking from 25 yards off the ball. That's not intimidating. We need to be breathing on necks on the D line, and they need to have fear. That's what Georgia's built off of. Georgia beat the pseudo best team, Texas, in the country from the people up front.
Man, whipped them.
What?
Whipped them. Yeah. Whipped them. Like, it don't even matter who we have at quarterback. It doesn't matter. They took the Mike Denbrock approach. Don't matter who's playing quarterback. Doesn't matter. We beat you with the veteran. We beat you with the freshman. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, because they all experiencing the same hardships. You got that crazy deep, and Kirby understood. That's what he started to build as soon as he got there. He ain't waste no time. Mm-hmm. That's why the criticism of Georgia is the secondary. That's the criticism of Alabama in big time championship games was the secondary. It was never the front 7, but the front 7 how they got there. Front 7 is how they won championships. They like, we can live playing man to man and get beat every now and again, but that's like low percentage when you getting destroyed up front. It's just our problem. We was in reverse. We went top down instead of from bottom up. The top down got us far, got us some highlighted corners and some really good award-winning safeties and some playmakers and all of that, but that was too far from the immediate impact on the football, which that's where the game is won, as we've seen from the dominant teams that have won championships. So to be able to say that's the highlight, that means we're getting closer to being consistent at being in the championship position and also winning it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like saying, when you get older, you need to focus on your lower body strength, your core, not the beach muscles. Because when they say when you start to get really sick when you get older, it's because you're light in the lower part of your body. That's where it starts. So you got to be strong at the core, and for us to be cognizant and conscious of how those transfers played in, on how we're overly deep at that position, that's a concerted effort to say it's not going to look like that championship game film where we got zero pressure. Now, those guys were hurt. We acknowledge that. But even if those guys wasn't, would it made a difference in that last game? Probably not much. Probably not much. Now, that's the measurement of how you get better from last year. That one game, the rest of the season, I mean, we were better than teams. But when we needed to get pressure up front, we didn't have it against arguably, better than or equal to greater team or whatever. But that's how we get over the hump.
Mm.
We get over the hump when we get that D-line elite. That's it. Ohio State's front four was all they needed. That's all they needed. Michigan's interior D lineman was a huge problem. And
Ask Ohio State.
And you saw what the interior issues that Michigan gave Ohio State is why the quote unquote best team in the country last year couldn't beat them. Just from them two interior dudes. Gave Will Howard hell. Made me realize how terrible he was. Just from then. Now those two are first round picks.
Yeah. First, second round at the most. Yeah. Yeah.
We get us a Mason Graham shoot. Out of them 8, we get a Mason. Yeah. That's when you start really affecting teams and changing the momentum of things. When you got that, when Clemson was dominant, they had 4 All-Americans. Let's just be honest. 4 of them, the right end, the left end, and both middle, all All-Americans. So who cares about the back end? I don't even remember none of the back end players. Do you remember any of the back? They could have been good, maybe.
They had a couple of Americans back there.
I mean, but that's due to the help up front. You jumping stuff, taking chance. I mean, you playing way more confident because you know that front four is all you need.
Mm-hmm.
But as extreme as those situations are, those are also championship teams. I mean, let's be honest. 4 All-Americans on the D-line, that's your starting front four, is why Clemson won a championship. Now, they had the other key, which is the quarterback. But you get through 90% of the season with an All-American front four. I mean, what are we talking about? Ohio State got through the playoffs from the front four. Let's just not even. I mean, Jeremiah Smith was a big help, but the front four, they had 10 sacks on Oregon. I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
So the front four is why Ohio State looked so dominant against Tennessee, why they looked so dominant against Oregon, why they gave Texas. I mean, the D-line finished the game against Texas. So that's the difference. How many? It was like 2 or 3 All-Americans on Ohio State's O-line last year. So clearly, if we're not getting the message here or the moral of the story, one of the 2 things got to happen, but both is ideal. A quarterback and them interior. We had an all-time great Notre Dame pass rusher in this short lifetime. And what was he, 10-3?
Yeah.
He had the most sacks. We had the most winningest quarterback and the winningest coach, and didn't win a championship. And didn't throw over 3,000 yards. But you change the game with those two things being different, and we taking the right steps. Then Chris Ash is maybe he knows what to say, but he's smart enough to know
Yeah.
what it takes to win.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty podcast. When we come back, we'll hear from guys like Jared Dawson. We'll hear from guys like Jalen Stroman and all of the newcomers talking about what it's like to be at Notre Dame. Jared Dawson said he felt the love when he was in the stretch line, when he came in with Louisville. We'll hear from that, him, and more right here, Lucky Lefty podcast. You already know, Left. What do? We spin it different.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag, because you know, if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
You wrap me up in the color of love. There must have been an angel by my side. Something happened.
Lucky Lefty podcast. More boys in the building.
Look at the sky.
MALIK, ZAIRE, SHAUN Davis.
It's the color.
Hop in with us on YouTube. Subscribe. Share. Hit that thumbs up. It helps with the views. Leave the comments and questions, because we respond to all. If you have a GTB question or a super chat, get it in. We'll bring it in as soon as we see it. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Players Only podcast. Coming out of hibernation soon. And don't forget, get over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify, because the podcast on the audio side is fire. I'm going to be dropping 5 and 5, left 5 and 5. I'll be interviewing 2026 recruits and 2027 recruits and asking them 5 questions in 5 minutes, bro, just to introduce them to the fan base, regardless of whether or not they commit to Notre Dame. That's something we're going to be adding over at luckyleftypod.com.
We call it check out
luckyleftypod.com. You go to luckyleftypod.com. You can see all the great stories. I had a story up there about Trey Taylor, Jazeel Hart. I also have a story about Mike Denbrock, his conversation, and what the offense is going to look like. Just had my response to ESPN story about the strengths and weaknesses of the Notre Dame football team in 2025. So go over there and check it out, luckyleftypod.com. And of course, if you go over there, all the videos from our shows, we'll be posting interviews of the past with former Notre Dame players. And then you can shop with us. Merch it. Go over there and check out all of us hoodies, t-shirts, crew necks. We'll be adding merchandise each and every day moving forward. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast. Home of the misguided passion. As you already know, we spin it different. So, Left, Javion Osborne. We watched this film with Uncle Reggie Brooks. Coach Uncle Reg loved this film. He left Notre Dame on his visit. He was here with Joey O'Brien the same day. And according to reports, when he left, Notre Dame was the #1 squad in his recruitment. He just left Michigan this past weekend, and immediately after leaving Michigan, he cut his list of schools from 6 down to 2. So it is literally a battle of Jawan Sider versus Tony Alford. It is Jawan. I left. It's like, oh man. It's Jawan Sider versus Tony Alford for the services of Javion Osborne. I will say this. Multiple predictions have predicted that he's going to choose Notre Dame. So hopefully that makes you feel good. He has a decision coming up soon.
Oh, man.
you heard Tony Alford and you said, oh, man.
Yeah, I mean,
anybody but that guy.
They're two best in the sport, man, recruiting and coaching. So.
Yeah. 'Tis true, Left. 'Tis true. But once again, breaking news for the women's basketball squad, Olivia Miles. I just talked to somebody close to the program and asked them simply, did it shock you? And they said yes. 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 But they did say that they were never able to mesh. Those two were never able to mesh.
I told you. I said, how is that? No. I knew it. The only people that can make something work like that is LeBron James. And Luka is ball, and Luka is Luka. But when you get with that master cook and LeBron, it always work out. I'm just saying, man, that's speaking of how great LeBron is once again, but I just knew it wasn't going. I'm like, how? Because when Olivia was here, it was about Olivia. And then when Hannah got here, she started off hot and got all the press. I just knew Olivia was not.
Can I say something? I'll give you one misstep, and this might offend some Notre Dame fans. You got Olivia, you had Sonya. The team was cooking. Olivia got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You should have went and got the best big in the country rather than getting Hannah her dog. Because you had Sonya and you had Olivia. Now, granted, Olivia missed the entire next season.
But that's when you get the big.
That's when you get the big to go with Sonya.
Because you got super guard heavy.
And then you bring Olivia back, and now you got your triune, you got your trio, you got your big three. And you're balanced.
Yeah, you're balanced. That's more important, you're balanced.
But now you don't have Sonya. She's gone. You don't have Olivia.
Yeah.
And now Hannah's all alone.
And you're going to be tempted to go get guards first.
Yeah.
That's what has to change. This is a perfect moment to say, okay, let's get a big. Shoot, feel that. If we go hard, because you're going to get a guard fall to you because you need L. Ivy. Not that you don't have to recruit guards, but I think that you would get a higher success rate on getting a guard that can complement Hannah if you focus on getting a big first. Because that
I'm going to be honest with you. I never went to court with any other guard. When I wouldn't pick my five, I wouldn't got dudes bigger than me. Always. Always. I'm the ball handler. I'm the point guard. I don't want another small dude on my squad. Give me all big dudes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me all big dudes.
Guys that can pick and roll.
That's it. Give me all big dudes. That's all I have to say. I understand Olivia Miles. She wants the ball.
I mean, that's what USC did. USC
imagine how she feels. This was my squad. Then I got hurt. This was my squad. I was cooking.
Hannah got too much love in the beginning. I'm telling you, they ate her up. Then she got to share the cover with her.
And to be honest, they can't shoot from the outside. They don't have any shooters. They don't. Everything is penetration to the hole. Half court, awful. Half court offenses, awful. If they're in transition, they kill you. You slow them down and don't turn the ball over. That half court offense is like watching paint dry. No movement, ISO ball. Man, no back cuts.
Yeah,
none of that. So, Jared Dawson, transfer defensive tackle from Louisville. He's one of the newcomers that met with the media, and this is what he had to say.
Great. It's been a lot different than I'm used to, but I think in a good way. Yeah.
How's like the transition been, I guess, with the players, obviously the new coaching staff here?
It's been a smooth transition. It's a different culture, but I feel like I fit right in. Like they're just a really responsible, driven kind of group. Like it's never any drop off any day, no complaining, and I like all of that. So smooth transition.
Have you seen yourself kind of grow? I mean, throughout these like last few weeks, just as a player.
Definitely. Coach Washington and all them are getting us coached up and really taking time for us to get good at like the fundamental things. And so we're just been getting 1% better every day. So by the time we get to the season, we'll be pretty much there.
You played against Notre Dame twice when you were little. Kind of like, what's it like now? Like, what did you see when you were at Notre Dame Stadium? I guess when you looked at that game.
Just being, we went to the stadium. It was like an all-green game, so it was just a crazy environment. It was, like I said this before, it kind of felt like home. Like when I was there, just like when you warming up in front of the fans, you kind of feel like they're cheering for you, even though it's the other team. Like, so just it felt pretty much like home to me.
My man was warming up saying, man, I want to play for them.
See when you talk about the intangibles of the key, this guy looks like a grown man. You know the most intimidating thing about Alabama's D-line back then, because you like, are these dudes 30? Are they college eligible? Like, damn, these dudes got the. I would love if we have a little bit of baby mama drama and some delinquent, things going on in the Georgia does it all the time. Does great.
I don't think we don't want to be like Georgia though. Bro.
No, but I'm just saying he looks the part of the intimidating factor. A lot of our D-line guys.
In other words, you just want some grown men on the defensive front.
You got clean-shaven baby faces. All these baby assassin big dudes. I ain't never seen so many baby face, handsome young big dudes. Give me something that's like, oh, this is a real one. Oh, we had to get him the second time around. He wasn't the first choice on the recruitment because he, got to get certain things right, whatever. But I mean, this is the kind of good mistakes you need. You heard what the man said. The man said, "Oh, I'm a fish out of what I was used to in this disorganization. I was just bringing the talent, the grit. Now you put a gritty guy in some organization and some culture. Now you getting that perfect mix." It's like when public school kids go play for the private school, they just add a little bit of to it. Just a little bit. You don't quite know what, but you don't got no baby face assassins. All these baby face, handsome grandma, pinch your cheek, D-line guys we had. Yes, they had talent. But this guy looks like, his grandma's not pinching his cheek. He look like he got some things he's dealing with off the field that's on his mind, that's motivating. Maybe football is his 1A and 1B. All these D-line guys or these Renaissance men we get at D-line, they just so worldly and wholesome and want to be humanitarians and businessmen and politicians and all. That's great. That's great. But we need some guys that are like, I'm trying to get to the league. And I don't know how I got here, but I'm gonna add what I got. I'm gonna just give the room. I might have to elbow a couple guys, make them uncomfortable in the room, because that's the type of attitude we need in the D line. I just feel like our D line was always on Wednesdays or something, just baking cookies and making muffins together. That's what you get. They just all these guys get hot cocoa after the games on Friday and they huddle up in their blankets and stuff. Just real soft stuff. This is the kind of grit we need, man, with a full beard, man. You got the beard oils going. Brother said I ain't been around something like this before, but it's good. It's good for me. See, I like that. It's like when you take an animal from the wild and you bring him in the home. And all the wild animal instincts, he look around, I don't have to do all that, but I got it in me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get a home cooked meal and this and that, but I got the wild instincts in me. I just came from having to catch the fish myself. Now they're giving me fish on the plate, but I still know how to catch it. We get a lot of guys that have always been given the fish on the plate. Did the right things. had the grades, was, great people in their community. Never been in nothing rough. Not saying this guy has, but he looks like it. I mean, hey, he can sell it to me. But that just goes to the intimidation. Half of this is an intimidating fact. You need some of that. No more grandma pinching the cheek and saying, good game, baby, after the. No. I want to hear some stories like how they used to back in the day where the brother had 2 shoes his whole life. Came to Notre Dame, got his first closet full of shoes. Man, grateful. Got some passion in the game, passion in the D-line. That's what we need. That's what it is. We need passion in the D-line. Our D-linemen go to Wall Street. Who does that? Some stuff we just can't do for D-linemen. Like D-linemen should just take a trip to go to waste management and learn how to be garbage dudes for the day. You know what I mean? Just a gritty job. Y'all want to go to these high, snooty, fancy, Wall Street and finance, but it's just a mentality. How you gonna get 10 sacks and you thinking about crunching numbers in some office? How you gonna do that? So if we can just muddy up some of that culture in the D-line room, I think it'd just be great, man. And adding transfers like this that can mix the pot up. Al Washington trying to, he trying to get on Men's Health Fitness magazine cover. You got to get him a little scruffed up. Maybe he need to add a little bit more weight to him. He trying to look like Will Smith. He trying to share some of them commercials with Marcus Freeman. I'm like, no, I need you to be in that D-line room, lifting with the D-line. You lifting with the receivers now. Al Washington, what happened? So, maybe it's just an attitude change. Some passion's got to be in that D-line room. Because, right now, I think our whole line is dominated so much, it's just mellowed the mood of the D-line. But D-linemen ain't getting out of their body because they like, man, that offensive line kicking ass every day. So let me just make sure we need a D-line that's kind of wild. They just took over practice. They just talking crazy, beating up the old linemen. They going in, but it's a physicality and a passion that comes with a D-line. Our line go out there and take care of business. So it's, guys is thinking like, man, it's a long day. So that attitude gets even killed, When I was at practice, we had suspect dudes that you might not want to say something wrong to, like Ishak. You get mad, you might just say, excuse me, Mr. Williams. I ain't just finna just say nothing, even because you big dude, you don't know what he gonna do. Right? The NBA got people like James Jones on the team for nothing else other than you better not say nothing wrong because he will beat you up. I bet you Jalen Carter has some fear in some guys at practice. They wasn't just saying, big old Jordan Reed. I bet you they got they got some guys.
Jalen Carter doesn't have it all. Jalen Carter did not have it all.
Yeah, so you got it. You just not. Hey, and you just need one. You don't need a whole team of them.
No.
It was one Jalen Carter that make a difference now. There's a lot that comes with it, but hey, you getting 12 sack seeds. I mean, you having a day.
Yeah.
That's just what, and that maybe that's our Jalen Carter. Maybe he's coming in with that roughness that we looking for.
Yeah, Lucky Lefty podcast. So I guess we have to introduce the Ohio boy of the group. Cincinnati's own Devontae Smith, defensive back transferred from Alabama, nickelback. This is what he had to say.
The weather's been definitely an adjustment. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, but I've definitely lived in Alabama for the past 4 years, so I got used to the weather. Another big adjustment has been school, for sure. Academics here, they take pride in it. Not saying they didn't take pride in Alabama, but academics is definitely a huge thing that I definitely had to get adjusted to, for sure. So.
And you've got size and length. Kind of what do those add to your game? Like what do you do better than other players in your position?
I definitely feel like I'm more physical than a lot of players in my position. I definitely feel like I can cover better than a lot of people in my position, and I just have a mentality to just honestly just kill and dominate in my position. So that's what I feel like.
What drove you to choose Notre Dame? Like, was there one particular moment during the recruiting process?
Well, just knowing that the coaching staff here that I had a 8 to 9 year relationship with, even before they were here at Notre Dame, when they were Coach Freeman, Coach Mickens when they were at University of Cincinnati. I know them there. They made them recruit me since I was in 9th grade. It's closer to home, closer to my son, my family, and that's definitely what drove me to be here.
Relationships, man.
See, the brother got a baby mama. I like that. Got something he's playing for. You know what I mean? He's focused. Plus, you got to think, he's going to have that Ohio physicality to him.
He can't play for his son. He has to be playing for the baby mama.
I'm just saying he got something going on.
But see, he just spoke of his son. He literally could have a fiance. He could have a girlfriend.
Even better. That's great. You need stuff to add character.
You just put the young lady in the bracket, like.
I mean, okay, but we can't have too many just go to school kids. You know what I mean? We need some guys with some ulterior motives and focuses and some motivations, so that's great to hear. And like he said you got to play school here too. Yeah, you got to play school here too.
I like how he called himself, like, not saying that it's not important to Alabama. It's not, bro.
No, it's not.
It's Jalen. I mean,
because he
Devontae, nice catch.
Because you had to adjust. So what you adjust from? If you had to adjust, what was you doing that you not? Yeah. So we caught on.
I have to actually show up.
Oh, they said, where you at? You gotta. Why you not at? He said, oh, we gotta. Oh, I thought it was a suggestion. No, they said, if you don't go, you can't play. He was like, for real? Yeah, you can't play. Oh no, I gotta go to class. Yeah. So, if anything, it's just going back to the other aspect that builds the discipline of a Notre Dame guy. Yes, you got to go to school too. So you got to find a way to do all this school stuff and still get better at football. It's just one of the nuances that add that process that you got to go through before you earn that Letterman check. Because it's going to be a different adjustment for everybody. Devontae talked about school. The other guy talked about culture. The other guy, we got guys talking about different things they got to change. What we see about T. Hart. He said, I had to change a lot. And this is just a year. Like, we ain't talked about the 4.
Right.
T. Hart learned the most football he's ever learned in them 6 months. He had to adjust to so many different things coming from a 4-year school. So in the 4 years he was at school, he said he's had the biggest change the 6 months at Notre Dame. So I'm not saying that other places don't have no quality about you. I would just invite you to listen to these stories. I mean, they telling you themselves. What T. Harp said, he said, I was comfortable in 4 years at Oklahoma State. I thought I had it in the bag. I came to Notre Dame, and I had to get right. I had to tighten up. I had to learn some things. Before he even got there, he said, there's some things at Notre Dame that I want to know that I don't know, and I've been going to this other place for 4 years. The one guy said, he said, I'll shoot. He said, ain't no complaining. They come in the same day. He ain't used to that. So everything in some different aspect is an adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Making these guys better. None of these guys are coming in saying, this is like my old school. I can fit right in. No. Every guy we've heard from say, hey, when I got here, I thought it was one way, but shoot. We got to go to school. We got to do this. We got to. What T. Harp say the other day? He said, I had to dress better. I didn't even know I had to go get clothes for occasions. Yeah. Yeah, you can't wear sweatpants everywhere. He was doing that for 4 years at another school. Not saying they didn't have, look, I'm gonna act like Devontae, but not saying they didn't do that. No, they not. They not. You a 5th-year senior talking about, I didn't know they got to do school. So you've been doing that for 4 years? You a 5th year talking about, I didn't know they take academic. What do you mean?
Man, don't knock that man's hustle, man. Don't knock that man's hustle, boy.
It's not his fault. It's not. That's what I'm saying. He don't know what he don't know. That's what they allowed him to do at Alabama. So that's the thing I love hearing about when guys get to Notre Dame, especially these transfers, is that their 4 years or the years they spend at other places, no matter where they go, they always get. I mean, the brother came from Alabama during the time when they was Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And he even said, even with Nick Saban and the program he was under, he came to Notre Dame and still found something new, still had something challenging him, still adjusting the things that he didn't know about and he had to get better with. That's amazing. How can Notre Dame be standing out that many ways around that many people? Even schools like Northwestern. We heard these guys come in from Northwestern saying, yeah, that's, I didn't know we had to do this. I didn't know it was like that. I didn't know this was the feeling. This is Northwestern. So it's either going to hit you off the field or it's going to hit you on the field. You either going to have to adjust something in your life to become a better man and a better professional off the field. There's always something that happens in that evolution or change. And then there's going to be something on the field where it's a culture difference, where it's a locker room difference, whether it's the quality or the amount of guys that are even Chris Ash, who's been to a very fine professional organization in Jacksonville and many other schools. He even was shocked at the amount of guys that are football focused and can retain information and can, go hard every day. And that's a culture. So if that's influencing NFL guys all the way to transfers, all the way to freshmen, Notre Dame's really got something special that I don't think people's giving the proper nod to. And that's something to be, that's something that is underrated in the recruitment process. And it's funny because a lot of these guys don't know that until they start going through that routine. Because there's only so much you can explain, Marcus Freeman he can't tell you everything. And what you pick up is on your own. Marcus Freeman's not telling these guys this is what you're gonna be going. He's like, you got to do that too. Yeah, you got to. I think it makes it better, and you see guys fit more seamlessly when they come in as opposed to it being a build-up process. I think Riley Leonard, not at Notre Dame, would look worse and would take longer to get to where we got him in 1 year. Due to just the force and stress of the position, I think he evolved faster at Notre Dame in those first 5 games throughout the season than he would have if he stayed at Duke or went anywhere else, really. I mean, we saw Riley really change. For Mr. G. Willikers and Mr. Oblivious, don't know what he don't know. Found out quick in the first 5 weeks when we were winning, took a couple bumps, was disheveled, wasn't confident, didn't understand how he was getting so much hate, didn't know how to handle it. And then you look in the championship game and he's like, man, this is the best experience. This has been great. That's a unique experience, man. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. And he still didn't throw for over 3,000 yards. So I'm excited to see how these transfers, because at some point we're gonna have to acknowledge it. Our transfers we make better, even if it's for 6 months. How many places are doing that? How many places get transfers and just discard them and just keep them on the team? We use our transfers. If you transfer Notre Dame, that means you're going to play, which is a good thing. Which means it's probably harder to get to Notre Dame. You're not just transferring for some free meals. Like, no, you're going to be playing.
The next guy up on the newcomer list that we heard from was Jalen Strowman, transfer safety from Virginia Tech.
A big help. I definitely see it in the players. Players want me to just develop and be better and be a leader here. So, just being able to come in, just learn from the coaches, take it to the locker room and teach the players feels good.
And being here at Notre Dame, how special is that to know that you're here?
It's great. It's a great feeling just to know that it's part of the culture. Like Notre Dame, that gold helmet, it's great.
You've got some size and length to your game. Like, what does that kind of add to the position? Like, what do you do better than other players at your position?
I think I get to the ball a lot faster. I think I can go make tackles and just do anything on the field, honestly.
And then ultimately, kind of, why did you settle on Notre Dame? Like, was there a kind of a flashbulb moment that you had?
I just seen the way that they like to win and the culture and the defense and how they fly around. I definitely want to be a part of that.
Yeah, so Jay Lamont, you're bugging. If you if you think Jalen Strowman might not start, he ain't come here to sit, bro. Devontae Smith did not come here to sit. Devontae Smith did not come here to sit, and Jalen Strowman did not come here to sit. Jadon Blair is third behind Ben Minich and talents right now at safety. And that's with Strowman not even playing in the spring.
Yeah, weird.
This is why when you get talent like that and you have a program where your young talent can literally marinate, that's how you win for multiple years. People always want to just throw the freshmen out there. Oh, we got this. Man, let them marinate.
Yeah.
Let them get a full off season under their belt. Jalen Strowman, they did not go get him to bring him in and sit. They did. Just trust me. They did. The only reason he's not out there is because he's recovering from injury. That's it. They went and got the young man to start at safety next to a Don Shula. That's it, man.
Yeah, don't start doing this. May not play because we already see we getting the guy. He's playing. We seen him with quarterback.
He's playing. He's playing, dog.
We seen it with quarterback.
That's somebody you had to go to the school and get a check for. Oh, he's playing. He's absolutely playing. He's starting.
Yeah, we ain't even talking about playing. He's starting, guys. Come on.
Like, I just be honest. Let me just keep it a buck. Go watch his Virginia Tech film. Like, dude, just go watch him play.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's not playing around.
No.
He's not Brandon Joseph either.
Dude, people always want to bring up the worst of the worst to try and prove a point. Virginia Tech ain't Northwestern, bro. I can see, this is what makes the point. Like, it doesn't even make sense, bro. Playing safety is different than playing cornerback. Totally different. If we were talking about, well, no. If someone said Cree Thomas is going to take Christian Gray's job, we're talking about safety. Notre Dame has always played veterans on the back end. They never put a true freshman out there. Never. Never. Even Kyle Hamilton didn't start from snap one.
No, just
he had to work himself into it. Jalen Stroman is going to start. They're going to start. If you trust Mick, who actually went out and got the kid, because he coaches the safeties too, it was Mick's decision to go get the kid, which means he didn't trust what was coming in and he didn't trust what he had. And he said, we need to go get somebody at safety. So if you trust Mick, then trust the fact that Jalen Stroman is going to start and was brought here to start.
Yeah, I don't know why y'all thought no.
There really is nothing else to say about it.
That's a bird in the hand. If you could say anything else, that's a bird. It's already penciled in depth chart starter day one. I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
And you got to think, we got him hurt. We didn't take him healthy. We wanted him even if he was hurt. They said, no. We're going to nurse you back. Don't even worry about that. I know you're recovering. Won't just come here. We will get you healthy because we know a healthy you is a better us. So if they're taking this man, spending the check, taking him while he's hurt, there's a high confidence that they know something we don't.
Mm-hmm.
How many teams are spending money to get a hurt player? Think about that. You think Notre Dame just going to spend money on a hurt safety? Or Notre Dame spent money on a guy that they know, oh, we can nurse you back. We can get you right. And when you get on that field, you're going to elevate us. Elevate, that's all. I haven't seen too many Marcus Freeman mishaps in recruiting so far. I haven't seen it. Not from guys he's bringing in, The guy that was hurt that came in that played tight end, dude, we had tight ends at that time. We was tight end you. Talking about Chris Smith or K. Smith? Yeah. It's like, did we really need extra help at tight end? I mean, hey, we're talking about a position that's we need a guy to play. At that time, we were just loading up on receivers because we had lost, 3 or 4 guys in the transfer and the coach. So it was just, like we said, Notre Dame is a receiver and quarterback, nothing but space and opportunity. That ain't the safety position. No. The safety position is like, no, we need some G14 classification, and you got to have an approval by one of the best secondary coaches in the country. That's a whole nother process. That's a whole nother thing.
And Caleb Smith wasn't a miss. He was injured.
He was hurt. Yeah.
He never played. It wasn't a miss. He was a medical. He couldn't on the field. That's not a miss. Kid just couldn't play. And comparing Jalen Stroman to Rod Hurd, man, I'm just gonna stop talking about the subject, bro. Y'all need to stop getting off the Jadon Blair train. The dude is not starting as a freshman. He's not.
Just go watch his.
Luke Tallich is the guy right now in the spring next to him. And Kennedy Urlacher is behind him at the other safety spot. And believe you me, when they take the field in the fall, Jalen Stroman will be walking out on the field with the first group.
Easily. What?
It's as simple as that. What happens after that is whatever.
Yeah, it's his job to lose, though.
Like, I don't know what else to say. ND Media is blowing who up?
We might have to
you literally contradict yourself. You say trust Mick, and Mick is the one that went and got him for the purpose to start. That's why he went and got him.
He is what he's labeled as, a hired gun.
I trust Mick, but I don't trust Mick that went to get him to start. Because that's why they went and got him, because they didn't trust what they had coming in and what was on the roster. So they went to get a starter, a veteran starter. That's why they went to get him. That's it. That's it. So who blowing who up? And what are you talking about?
Probably blowing Talek up.
Who?
Probably blowing Talek up like he's gonna start or something.
Well, I didn't say that's not to say that he is the guy taking the starting reps, which is what he is in the spring. That's not blowing somebody up. That's speaking facts. He's taking the starter reps. Kennedy Urlacher is with the second group. And Jalen Stroman would be the starter taking the snaps if he was healthy. Those are the facts. No one can blow anything up because no one has seen anything. That's what the media that has seen and what we've seen, that's what we've been shown. Luke Talek is getting the reps with the ones.
Steve Angeli got all the reps in the spring and
that's
didn't.
it.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. He got the reps with the ones. Jadon Blair is after Kennedy Urlacher and Luke Talek on the depth chart. Now, will he move up going into the fall? We'll see. But as of right now, that's a long way to go. That's a long way to go. I don't think people are really hyping up Luke Talek. He's the more experienced player on the back end. That's why left. What did I just say? The difference between safety in Notre Dame and defensive back in Notre Dame. Mike Mickens has shown a willingness to play freshmen early at cornerback and nickel. He has not shown the same thing at safety. They want veterans that have played on the back end as opposed to youngsters. That's the track record. So when you hear Cree Thomas's name being mentioned for making plays, now the light goes off. Hey, Cree Thomas might be a dude we look to play early. Why? Because that's what Mike Mickens has shown that he will do. He will play his young cornerbacks. He will not play his young safeties as quick. Why? Because in the Notre Dame system, there is a huge responsibility on communication on the back end. And you don't leave that to a true freshman or a younger player. You just don't. So there is a reason they went out to get Jalen Stroman, a young man that they have a relationship with, just like they had a relationship with Devontae Smith, and recruited them both when they were at Cincinnati. They know these young men. They trust these young men. They're going to play and they're going to start. Will they remain the starters? That's on them. But they were brought in, if healthy, if both remain healthy through fall camp, I fully expect both men to start when they take the field in Miami. Both. But I will say this. You could see a rotation at safety as well. You could see a rotation at safety. Adon is the anchor, but I mean, Luke Tallett could really force their hand, bro. If he makes plays, he looks good, he could force their hand. But as a Notre Dame fan, that's huge responsibility on the back end. Unless you're just the elite of the elite. We'll see. But we got some talented kids coming in. Mark Zachary could play early. Dallas Golden could play early. I mean, there's some dudes at cornerback that could really make a difference. I'm gonna tell you something else, Left. There's some dudes coming in that could be valuable in the return game as well, Left. That return game and place kicking, man. You talk about two areas. Let's get to it, Left. I have one more person, I think. Who did we forget? Oh, the aforementioned Cree Thomas. This is what he had to say.
For sure. I mean, he was a senior when I was a freshman. So during my recruitment, I would always text him, ask him questions, and just seeing what they did with him with continued hard work, I could be at that level one day.
And has he given you any advice now that he's kept moving on for the NFL draft?
I mean, yeah, I texted him. I asked him like kind of what does it take when I first got here, and he said doing everything right and executing. So I've definitely been paying attention to my details and just focusing on what I can control.
And how is the transition been from there? Like, how are you enjoying it?
It's been good. I love it so far. It's been everything I want. It's challenging me academically, challenging me on the football field, and I just feel like I'm really growing as a person.
What's been the biggest adjustment on the field? Like, is it the speed of the game, the complexity? What's made it hardest to transition?
I would definitely say the speed. The speed of practice. Everything is kind of just happening quick. Just getting to my spot. But other than that, I feel like I've just been focusing on getting better.
Hearing great things about this kid, and like I said, a shocker that a young defensive back is being spoken about in spring camp or either fall camp for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. In 3 years, the narrative about the defensive back room has totally changed. It's totally changed, and that is.
Oh no, he's a little too jolly for my liking.
You're just mad because he was out there in Arizona smacking your squad, bro. Stop. Stop. I like him. Hey, I like him wearing 20, keeping that 20 from Brophy coming to Notre Dame. I like it.
I like that he's very inquisitive. He asks a lot of questions. He wants to know, but just a little too jolly for me. I don't know. That's a very competitive room, and he's just a little too G Willikers for me. But
first stop that, dude. Stop that, bro. Right now you're sounding like a hater, bro.
Oh my God.
You always judge a book by its cover, bro.
I'm not
always judging a book by its cover. All of a sudden he can't ball because of the way he sounds.
I'm not saying that.
I don't care what he sounds like as long as he can hoop or as long as he can ball on the field. I care less what he sounds like.
I said nothing about him playing.
I care less. Josh Giddey is borderline. Let me stop because I don't want to be. You know the issues he had at OKC. You know the issues he had at OKC. He's right on the fringe. He was right on the fringe of being. He's right on the fringe. He's right on the fringe of being a felon. Right on the fringe.
Yeah.
Questionable decision making. All right, but he can hoop. So,
he can hoop now?
Should I have taken that to say, oh man, you're an almost felon. You can't hoop. You like him young, so that means you can't hoop. I don't respect you. Both are factual. He does like him young, and he can hoop.
Can he hoop, or he just beat the Lakers?
No, he's been hooping the last month. He hooped very well in the Olympics. If you really look at his numbers for Australia, he was hooping. Kid can hoop. He can hoop. But man, stop hating on my man because he's well-mannered, well-spoken. Come on, man.
He sounds great. I'd never say
G Willikers. We need to retire G Willikers. That is 13s for life. That That is resign.
Yeah,
Reserve. That's reserved.
That's
That's
reserved.
reserved. We can put that in the Raptors of LL.
Put it in,
Put it in the
that's
Raptors. Mr. G. Willigers, number 13. Leave that alone.
that's But Creed Thomas would be right. I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, anybody that Mike Mickens is getting.
Hold on. Let me make sure I clarify some things. For people in the chat, regardless of what you think, because of the rules in Oklahoma City, he was found to be not guilty. Or no, charges were not brought. Let me correct that. Charges were not brought by the family of the alleged victim or the alleged young lady in the case. So therefore, in this country, then you have to allow him to go on and live his life. I'm not here to sit up here, judge. The man can hoop, and I flat out said he likes him young. Those are facts.
No, those are facts.
Those are facts. So I'm not, dude. He can hoop, and he likes him young. I think I've been clear. If they go on the trial, more than likely he wouldn't be hooping. The only thing that saved him is they didn't want their daughter to testify. That's really the only thing that saved him.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing that saved him. So it is what it is. You know how people like to take things, make it seem, Go ahead, Left.
I'm excited for Cree. I just think if you get a chance to get in that DB room, it's bound for good things to happen because the culture's right. Mike Mickens is setting the pace at an all-time great level. And he's a great coach and a great recruiter if he can continue to have the success. So he's not striking lightning here. This guy is actually good at what he does. Well, he's seen the process. He rinsed, washed, and repeated. And I just love to see where we're going with this, man. And I'm not worried about the secondary. My not even concerned, but my hopes were to grow in the front seven and to be a force in the interior D line.
Yeah. Oh man. So we heard from Devontae Smith, we heard from Jalen Stroman, we heard from Creed Thomas, and we heard from Jared Dawson, 4 newcomers for the Notre Dame defense right here at Key Left Podcast. All right, Left. So I don't know if you saw this, but according to ESPN, they gave their strengths and weaknesses for the way too early top 25 teams. Notre Dame sits at number 4, ranks number 4 on their way too early rankings. And the strength of the Notre Dame squad was quoted as such. The strength is the secondary. Losing Xavier Watts and even more might be a huge red flag at a lot of schools. Not in Notre Dame, where the defensive backfield remains elite. Start with sophomore corner Leonard Moore, who established himself as one of the top young prospects in the country last season, allowing less than 40% completions and racking up 11 pass breakups and 2 picks. Christian Gray was a solid performer on the other side, while Adon Shue blossomed at safety. Notre Dame added a solid option at safety in Virginia Tech transfer Jalen Stroman. That might not start, according to some. And the back end of the defense should be the strength of this unit, just as it was a year ago. Talk about that, and then give me your other areas of strength, perceived strength for you going into the season.
Well, I definitely think that's the highest bar of expectation for where we left off last year is in that secondary. And we're also going to see that bar be raised when Ben Morrison and Xavier Watts go first, second round. So I think that now the heat's turned up and the spotlight's turned up on that secondary unit because of the success that they had last year from the young guys, what they're putting into the league and the accolades that came with those guys. And then the fact that this is the obvious strength of the defense last year. So you got all those factors that are included into why people should pay attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what people are saying it's the strength. That's what you should pay attention to. Leonard Moore didn't get offered $4 million for no reason. And Christian Gray on the other side is just as much as a problem. And these guys will also, in my opinion, be more targeted. I'm sure teams are watching those last two games and thinking, okay, we can try stuff out there. You know, they've given up certain things, especially if we're going to continue to keep the defense that we did from last year to this year. There's going to be opportunities. There's still going to be man-to-man opportunities. I don't think that's going to change as a philosophy. But at the same time, where I would like to see the strength come from and where it should come from is the D-line. How else do you get better when you were already so good? If we can flip the field and flip from having the best secondary to having the best D-line, I think that will give us more production, get more sacks, more pressures, more opportunities for turnovers, more opportunities for picks. So I think that that's where the strength has to come from. And I think also that's what we cognizantly addressed. That's what we went and got better. And we went and changed that aspect of our already top 5 defense. And so all signs point towards we better make a difference in production in that D-line. And I guarantee you Marcus Freeman is not saying sacks don't matter. I guarantee you that's the furthest thing. Like Marcus Freeman is probably so far from that statement in his mind of where he sees his D-line and where he wants the D-line to be that I don't think he'll ever say that again. If anything, he'll say, this is the best part of our defense. This is where it starts. This is the engine. This is what makes the defense go. If we're saying that from the secondary standpoint, not that it's a bad thing, but I know it doesn't win championships. So whenever we can get that going, I think that's when you cross over into the territories of the old Alabama and the Georgias and the Clemsons when they were championship ran consecutive years. Because, I mean, they had the best talent on the D-line. You get a Will Anderson. You get, a Dallas Turner. You get the Nolan Smiths and the just household names. When's the last household name? Rest in peace to our guy Big Lou. But what's the household name at D-line? Did Riley Mills carrying that much weight? I don't think so. But we love Riley Mills. Is he life-changing? No, but he's a good player. We need life-changing production and impact. And I think we're getting that through the eye test and the commitment. 8 people at D-line in the interior. That's a thick room now. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, Lucky Lefty podcast. I kind of agree. It's going to be interesting, bro. I think perceived strengths outside of defensive back could be running back, linebacker could be a perceived strength of this season or perceived group. For a long time, the defense has been perceived as the best unit at Notre Dame. Big picture versus the offense. It's been like that for a while. You might have had years like 15, that jumped out. But majority of the time, the defense is viewed as the bigger unit and the better unit. Offensive line, big picture, has always been viewed as a strength at Notre Dame. tight end has been viewed as a strength at Notre Dame at certain points. I don't know if tight end, because of injury, is viewed as a strength going into next season. I think the offensive line could eventually be a strength. We have to see the combination and who's going to come out with the first group. But surefire strengths, I think running back, linebacker, secondary are definitely strengths. What you pointed out about the defensive line, they could play themselves into being a strength. Will this be the first season that Notre Dame actually holds opponents under 100 yards rushing per game? Like, we've been waiting for that. Could it be this year with the improved size up the middle, and with Chris Ash talking about the improvement that he sees with that unit up the middle? Could be. I fall short of referring to the wide receiver group as being a possible strength. Could they be improved? Yes. Likely, maybe, or unlikely that the quarterbacks will be a strength next season. Left, likely, maybe, or unlikely?
It would have to be likely, just because of we're not going to be leading the team in the forefront offensively by running the ball. It's just not going to be enough. So that means the quarterbacks and receivers have to be a strength in some aspect. Because if they're not a strength, that means we're not throwing the ball well enough, and running the football, we're not going to run our way to a championship. It's just statistically a lot harder, even though we have very capable guys.
Mm-hmm.
As much as you need running to have a successful offense, that big chunk of impact of not being deadly enough with the pass game, that's what we need to make a strength. And we got enough receivers, we got enough talent that can get something going, but having anything other than 3,500 yards in a particular season with Mike Denbrock is unacceptable. And it should be viewed as that, because we don't have some rinky-dink offensive coordinator. We have a highly respected individual that has a Heisman and 2 first-round receivers. That alone, that sentence alone shouldn't be, well, it should be a consistent thing no matter the school. So Mike Denbrock has that ability. 1,000,000% the receiver room needs to be a strength. He had 2 first-round receivers. And got both of those guys over 1,000 yards in the season. So the LSU receiver room was an obvious strength. The quarterback was an obvious strength if you win the Heisman. So the 2 strengths offensively, if we're going to go in any direction outside the offensive line, it 1,000,000% needs to be the quarterback and the receivers, because of who your coordinator is. This isn't Jared Parker, because if it was Jared Parker, I would say the O-line, tight ends, and running backs. With Denbrock, is quarterbacks and receivers. Not that running got to be, but running is secondary to an offense that Denbrock is trying to run. It's just what it is. Why do you think Jeremiah Love is playing receiver? Because Denbrock is thinking, let's run. Like, what you mean? He's like, Jeremiah Love is my best player, so we're going to find ways to get him the ball, but we're going to put him at receiver, though. So, because, I mean, handing it to him is great, but we need to throw the ball, because that's what I'm known for, Denbrock. See, Denbrock's not in the Chris Ash situation where he's just running the Notre Dame offense. No. Denbrock, we're expecting you to run that offense down at LSU. That's why Denbrock's excited, because he's like, year 2, 3, we building on top of what we had to build from scratch. And you damn near got to build from scratch in a sense because you got to throw away whatever offense that was last year. In the sense that we're not going to be running that all day. Denbrock had 2 first-round receivers on the same team the same year with a Heisman quarterback. That is the strength and epitome and height of a Denbrock offense. What's the best running back of the year award in college football name? I don't even know, but I know the receiver one is the Blitnikoff. And Denbrock got one of them too. That's the sexier position. Denbrock is featured in sexy offense. That's his offensive scheme. Sexy offense, big plays, throwing the ball down the field. First round receivers, Heisman quarter. That's sexy. He got the sexy offensive scheme. Last year was not sexy. That was not Denbrock anything. That's Denbrock trying to make do with what we had to do. He couldn't get sexy with that. This is a sexy offense. So the strength of a sexy offense got to be the receivers and the quarterback. That's it. We're very thankful that the O-line is solid. That's the bonus. That's the bonus. That's how Denbrock is. The bonus of what we're doing is that we can block. But the strength and where my mind is sexy offense. This is what it is. And sexy offense means that you need stars at receiver and quarterback if you want to get the most out of a Denbrock ran offense. If this was a different coordinator like the guy at Kansas State we tried to get, we would be in a different state of mind. I'm thinking more Jeremiah Love and two running back split sets in the backfield. I'm thinking all of that. You got the man that is used to 4,500 and having a guy in New York. So I don't expect Denbrock's identity to change because he's coming to good old Notre Dame. No, we're asking Denbrock to be Denbrock. That's what he came back for. Bring that sexy offense over here. Because that looks good for recruiting, the program, the shift in narrative, the perspective. If you get first-round receivers and a quarterback, Marcus Freeman. We didn't get no love offensively, and we were in the championship. What did they talk about us offensively in the playoffs? Not much. Not much. Not much to talk about. You talk about Ohio State, it's, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Trey Henderson, the offense and all these receivers. And Ohio State's been really good because they specialized in sexy offense. They major in 2 things, receivers and quarterback. Sexy offense. But when they was winning championships down there in Alabama, they specialized in what? Sexy offense.
Yeah.
4 starting quarterbacks, a Heisman receiver, Jerry Jeudy, all of they was, what were they playing? Rock, paper, scissors to go in and get the bomb? You think we was playing rock, paper, scissors to get the bomb last year? Absolutely not. Absolutely. These brothers had Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Waddle, Devontae Smith on one team. They had a lot of talent that they didn't get overwhelmed with.
Mm.
They had so much fun. They played rock, paper, scissors on who got the ball.
Proposed weakness left, according to ESPN, is the quarterback. They said perhaps weakness is the wrong word. Marcus Freeman likes what he has to work with at the position, but after 2 straight years with veteran quarterbacks, Notre Dame would turn to someone without much playing time under his belt in 2025.
It's got all the things necessary to splash on the scene in a major way. Nobody knows what to expect. And also, nobody knows how to gauge an expectation. You just got to pass 2,800 yards. I mean, golly, that's no pressure. If anything, you smash something over 2,800 yards, you looking like the best thing going. I mean, seriously. The bar is so low at quarterback at Notre Dame. That's why they think it's a weakness, because it's so low. It's just like, you guys ain't the offensive line. You ain't got no first round pick like the running backs. Hell, we don't even know what you got in the receiver room. You ain't got no tradition like the tight ends. And you ain't throw over 2,800 yards and you played in the national championship. We don't know what to get. The perfect opportunity for a guy like, quote unquote, Kenny to come in there and take over, and everybody will be just, oh my God, where have you been? That's what the position is set up for right now. ESPN said we're not gonna call it a weakness, but we don't know what y'all got over there. That's great. Oh, if I'm the quarterback right now, Notre Dame, if I'm over in that room, I'm excited. Because I can do no wrong. I'm not following up a Kyler Murray or a Caleb Williams or a Joe Burrow or Deshaun Watson. I'm following up what? A guy that we're not even using the same playbook? Get out of here. I ain't following up no Jameis Winston. I'm following up a guy that didn't have 3,000 yards. Like, a guy that was coasted and coddled. We had to all play better to make him look better. That's what the coach said. This ain't me. It's not me. These are not my words. These are the sights and sounds of the Notre Dame football team. So that's all it takes, man. We need a leader.
Johnny 32 Lou Jack, thank you for the GTB. SD, I was at my daughter's soccer game down here in Cummings, Georgia. Guess who I met? Monster of the Midway, Alex Brown. My daughter was playing against his daughter. Brown is a big dude, bro. Yeah, is he bigger than what he was when he played? He might be bigger. Did you know some guys lose weight after they leave the NFL, and then some guys blow up? I haven't seen AB in a couple of years. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a couple of years. So, yeah. He's a good dude, man. You want to know, like, some genuine good dudes? He's a good dude. Charles Tillman is a super good dude. Just good dudes, man. Like you said, they're all good dudes, but I think they needed one more dude on that Bears defense that was a little loony. Like you said, you just need one loose screw.
You don't need a whole room.
They're all such good people, man. Hey, we're about to get out of here, Left, but yes, that one loose screw.
That's all you need.
Yeah, because that cat Tommy Harris was like a minister. Like, yeah,
every good group has one dude that's like, we need some.
Like you said, don't mess with him.
Yeah, we let him do him. Even Jordan had it. Michael Jordan, the second greatest player of all time, had a dude that
Lucky Lefty podcast. We'll get out of here. See you all tomorrow. When foolishness hits, that's when we end, man. Spin it different. We'll see y'all tomorrow.